A uncivilized devil stabbed a 6-year-old boy to death and critically injured his mother in a Chicago apartment on Saturday morning. All because, guess why, y'all? They were Palestinian Muslims. It's not about how much Bible chapter and verse you know. It's about how much Bible you willing to obey.
Preacher Boy Inc.
Yesterday, the ex-wife, the mother of the boy, and the boy were in their unit. Basically, they're renting a floor in the house of this man who committed this crime. When he knocked on their door, she opened it. He had knocked on the door many times before. She had no reason to suspect anything. And when he opened the door, he proceeded to choke her, the mother, who's 32 years old. Her name is Hanan, and attempted to stab her. And she ran into the bathroom and called 911. And by the time she came out, he had located and murdered her child, 6-year-old Wadia, by stabbing. This all happened in seconds. I know this because she texted this information to the father, who shared the texts with me. She is now lying in the hospital in serious condition. The boy, the young 6-year-old boy, had just celebrated his birthday a couple of weeks before. And he was a lovely boy who loved his family, his friends. He loved soccer. He loved basketball. And he paid the price for the atmosphere of hate and otherization and dehumanization that, frankly, I think we are seeing here in the United States as a result of the irresponsible leadership and lopsided, one-sided statements and coverage that we're seeing in the media, elected officials, all across. You see it in the comment section of social media.
In light of what's going on over there in Israel between the Israelis and the Palestinians, over here in the States, of America, a 71-year-old landlord has been charged with murder after authorities say he stabbed a 6-year-old and killed him, boy, and seriously wounded a 32-year-old woman, all because they were Palestinian Muslims. Joseph Shuba has been charged with 1 count each of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and aggressive battery, and 2 counts of a hate crime. 6-year-old Wadia's life was brutally taken away on Saturday when he was stabbed over 26 times with a military-style knife at his house just before 11:40 a.m. Now, the woman said the landlord came to the house, knocked on the door, she answered the door, and then he just started attacking her with a knife, with the military style knife. She ran to the bathroom to call 911, and as she ran to the bathroom to call 911, the young boy came out of the room like a young kid would to see what's the commotion about, and that's when Joseph Shuba started to stab the young boy. And, according to the autopsy, it said that he stabbed the young boy over 26 times. The sheriff's office said the woman had more than like 12 dozen wounds on her, but she's hospitalized, but she's expected to survive. Now, let me talk about this for a second. Let me dive deep into this. With old boy killing that young boy, I call him old buddy, old boy, that uncivilized, because let me tell you something, these type of stories bothers me. What's happening over there is in Israel is terrible, it's hard, it's difficult on both sides, especially for us who's on the outside looking in to understand the conflict that they got going on with them. It's hard for us to really grasp what's going on over there. You got some religious fanatics saying, this comes out of the Bible. Now, y'all know I'm a Bible believing brother, but I believe that a lot of the stuff that they are saying is out of context. But we're not going to get into that discussion. What old buddy did by killing that young boy, he just added more fuel to an already intense fire that's pretty much now ain't never going to be put out. It's like street beef, right? If one gang member or dude go kill somebody else's homie, right? We know how that go. It's only right that the dude that got killed, his folk gonna come and try to get their lick back. They gonna get their get back. You know what I mean? So that's how what's going on now. That's what's gonna go on with this situation. The Palestinians might want to get their get back. They might want to get their lick back. We know that's how street politics go. And no, I'm not advocating for retaliation or violence towards anyone. I'm just stating the real. That's just how street politics go. And I can only imagine that's how, vengeance go all around the world. If you clip one of somebody's, loved one, it's only right that people gonna want vengeance and try to come back. And I can only imagine that's probably how a lot of these Palestinians here in America could be feeling right now. Can you blame them though? Again, I'm not condoning or advocating for any violence, but can you blame that young boy's family, friends of the family, to even consider wanting to get their lick back or avenging that young boy's death? Because there's an ongoing conflict with these people, and they already see those people in a certain light, and those people already see them in a certain light. So they're enemies. They're enemies. Now, let's keep it a bean. Now, I can guarantee you, if those Palestinians was to rise up right now and start fighting back, a lot of you Christians and Americanized people is going to start calling them all type of terrorists, thugs, and criminals. When in all actuality, all they doing is trying to get their lick back. Now, again, I'm going to keep on emphasizing this. I am not advocating for violence. I'm not advocating for anybody to do any type of retaliation. What I'm doing is stating the real. What I'm doing is stating the real. That's why I say it's real dangerous for anybody to try to choose sides on this whole situation, mainly because what's going on between the Israelis and the Palestinians is deeper than any of us can even imagine. We need to be prayerful as believers in Christ. We need to be prayerful for both sides, merciful towards both sides, and gracious between both sides, because there's fanaticals, there's radicals on each side. We just saw what happened over there. Now, here's the crazy thing. I could only imagine the reason why that dude felt like he had to kill that 6-year-old boy is because of the news put out that Hamas beheaded over 40 kids. When it came back that it wasn't true. Even Joe Biden had to recant, him saying that he saw it happen. And then the White House put out a statement saying that, the president didn't see it. You see,
later that day, during a press conference, American President Joe Biden claimed he had seen photographs of beheaded babies, saying,
I never really thought that I would see and have confirmed pictures of terrorists beheading children.
The White House later retracted the statement and published this correction. U.S. official and the president have not seen pictures nor confirmed such reports independently, but the damage had been done. Biden's initial claims were already featured on the front pages of many news outlets and continued to be cited in some quarters as justification for revenge attacks and the collective punishment of civilians in Gaza. Once these claims went viral, other journalists who were on the same visit to Kfar Aza on the 10th of October say, no one spoke to me about beheadings, let alone beheadings of children, let alone beheadings of 40 children. Another Israeli journalist said, during the tour, we didn't see any evidence of this, and the army spokesperson or commanders also didn't mention any such incidents. Sky News correspondent on the ground also confirms not being able to confirm these claims.
We have not seen the evidence of that. We have asked the Israeli Defense Forces, the IDF, 3 times to confirm those numbers. They have not yet.
Later, the same journalist that broadcasted the claims of the spokesman of Israel's prime minister posted an apology, saying, the Israeli government now says today it cannot confirm babies were beheaded. I needed to be more careful with my words, and I am sorry. Hamas has denied claims that its fighters beheaded children, calling them lies. As details continue to emerge from the aftermath of the Kfar Aza attack, the line between facts and misinformation has blurred. Lies and half-truths have been disseminated by officials and mainstream media in what is becoming a propaganda war.
You see what I'm saying? The media is fueling a fire. Now this thing is going to break out all around the world. It's going to break out all around the world. And the hostility is just going to get even crazier and crazier and intense, and it's dividing ordinary people that don't have nothing to do with what's going on. Now, people who's not Palestinian or Palestinian or Israel is going to be pretty much forced to choose a side. Is either you for Palestinian or you for the Israelis, or you for the Israelis and against the Palestinians. They making people choose sides. I'm not choosing no side. I'm always going to choose the side of Christ. I'm going to do it gracefully and mercifully with both sides. I'm going to pray for both sides, and I pray God, bring some type of resolution, because, this is going to get out of hand, and I believe it's already out of hand already. See, let me tell you, I'm going to conclude with this. These people throw rocks and hide their hands on both sides. They both throw rocks and hide their hands. See, it's one thing I love about the internet right now, right? I love this about the internet. Now, I don't love the internet all the time, but I love this portion of the internet. People throw rocks at other people in 4K, right? And then they still try to hide their hand. But what they fail to realize is that there's cameras everywhere, and there's camera phones in everybody's hands. So now everybody can be their own media. You see what I'm saying? People can come on social media now and explain their side of the story. There's not only one side from just CNN or Fox News or MSNBC or all the other news outlets. Now people can get on their phone and post to their social media. So we see y'all who's throwing rocks and hide your hands. Yeah, y'all can't hide your hands no more. Thank God for social media. That's why the media is trying to control, everything. See, the media try to keep the narrative under their control, but they can't do it no more because there's cameras everywhere and everybody has a camera phone. So you can no longer throw rocks and hide your hands because we see y'all. But that's another topic for another day. My heart goes out to that young boy's family. His dad, the mom, his relatives. I pray and hope that they don't have vengeance in their heart, because the scripture says that God said that vengeance is his, saith the Lord. I know they're Muslims. They may not believe in the same God I believe, but that still doesn't mean that I'm not supposed to walk with compassion and empathy and sympathy and be merciful towards them, because I am merciful, empathetic, sympathetic towards those people, because at the end of the day, they are humans, and one of their relatives was killed for that had nothing to do with what's going on, just because he's a Muslim and of a certain nationality. Another person felt like they can just come snuff him out. That was not right. That is devilish, and dude is an uncivilized mutt. He's an uncivilized devil for doing that, man. So my heart goes out to his family, man, to the young boy's family. My heart goes out to them. I pray and hope that, they can find somewhere in their heart to forgive him, because my core belief is rooted in forgiveness, but I understand how they feel if they want vengeance. I holler at y'all on the flip. It's not about how much Bible chapter and verse you know. It's about how much Bible you willing to obey.
Preach.